Okay, then I will call the meeting to order, the COA board meeting to order on, today is April 22nd, 2025. I will open the meeting at 9:33 a.m. And thank you all for being here. Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag's right behind us, yeah.
Back to the camera. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I passed out the, Right, camera. Okay.
I thought she was too.
We're gonna welcome the COA director, Colleen, to our meeting. As soon as she puts down whatever it is, she just run into town hall. Okay. So in the interest of time, let's wait for Darlene to get here, and then we'll give her the floor with all her with the budget update. Do I hear her? I passed out to everybody. I was going to rewrite this myself, and then, well, of course, with all that's going on, I didn't really have the time, but then I thought better of it anyways, and this is something that Darlene had brought to our attention that she got from, hi Darlene, she got from the Georgetown COA. It's called the Georgetown COA Board Members Description. And I'd like to take some time, and I don't know if you want to do it here at the meeting or if anybody wants to take this home and kind of put in their own kind of comments. And then at the next meeting, we can rewrite this as a board, or if you want to just kind of go through it line by line and add or subtract anything that we'd like to have. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought we were going to do it together. I thought we gave it to, the last time we met, we gave it to everyone to read it. And then they were going to just put their thoughts together as a collaborative.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody did that.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So do you want to go through it piece by piece, or, I mean, do you want to go through it now, or do we want to take this home and put our thoughts on it and then bring it back and then vote on it at the next meeting? I think it's an important piece. It's a nice piece. It helps new members to realize what their role is and how we can be helping the board. So what's everybody's thoughts on that?
I think we should take it home and study it, and then if we want to add or subtract anything from any of these lines, then we'll go over that at the next meeting and then produce a finished product.
Okay, Pat, your thoughts?
I agree with what Fred said, because I'm seeing it for the first time now, so.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it should follow the same as, what our board is. It was just the thought of defining our board and our roles, like the selectmen, your members and what your responsibilities are as members. And she's the chair, Jean, and then what's her responsibility and then my responsibility.
Yep.
So somebody brought that up to me, and I think I've been, we're getting to be almost a full board. And so somebody brought it up to me, and I know it's in our policies and procedures on how many years in a row I should serve as the chairman.
It is.
And I think I've been, 2 years already, so. Do you want at the next meeting also to to look at that and see if anybody chooses to be the chairperson.
Yeah, that's smart. So you have to
and-
take a break from it, and then you can go back.
And then I can go back, yeah.
Aren't you,
Yeah.
aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
Where do I find the COA bylaws?
Oh, yeah, we always have them. I can send them to you electronically. But let's see. Let me see, I have a copy of them. 1 second.
So, let me see if, there's two things.
Yep.
There's the COA bylaws. I mean, there's the COA, we're a town board, so we have to follow the town bylaws. And that's in the town
Yes, yeah,
bylaws.
we
You
are-
know where to
yeah.
find those.
Yep.
And then we did, in August 2023, policies and procedures. And we went through, all of that. Okay, so that's kind of what,
send
we
you
were
a copy.
talking, yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, how long a chairperson can be a chairperson.
I think 3 years.
Is that what it says right there?
Is it
Good.
3? Yep.
Yep. May not serve more than 3 years. I'm gonna say I've been doing this 3 years. This is probably my third.
No.
And
You have a
then,
year left.
no.
She's trying to
I might, I know.
Well, it's not gonna happen.
The director's
OMG.
Oh my God. All right.
She's
I
like,
will
what
go
the heck?
along.
I thought I was 3 years, damn it.
Look that up. Confirm it.
Oh, shucks.
Okay, alrighty then.
Shuckarooskies.
Yeah, if I can have a copy of that, that would be great.
Absolutely. I'll send you an electronic version of it.
Yep. Let's see if I have, we also have, and I think I might have, an extra
I'll
copy
be
of this.
printing it at the library anyways.
I'll get you. Want me to copy it?
So Don, we'll give you this. We rewrote our mission statement, to read the Council of Aging's mission is to advocate for older adults, their families and caregivers. We are the hub of resources to identify the health, social, and cultural needs of our community while promoting their independence, wellness, and dignity. And then the duties and responsibilities. And this kind of is defined in the town bylaws, but that's an extra
So you
copy
change
of
the
that.
mission statement every year for the warrant?
We changed the mission statement. We had with the other board, we had a much longer mission statement, and then this board right here changed this. So there's no rule when you change it. You just always want to make sure that it's fitting with the work that the board's doing with Darlene. So I think this, on Darlene's suggestion, this really
Simplify.
simplifies it and states it very well, what we're trying to do here.
So as a board, I think we could always just read it, and if you feel that there's a need for to add one more word or something like that, based on what you see other COAs do or centers do, then they usually keep it pretty simple.
Now, it says a committee of 5 to 7 people, which,
Which that's 7 changed in 2020.
Yeah, that's part of the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
we increased,
so that just changed to what, 2 years ago?
yes.
Okay.
Yep, I asked the select board if we could. But we used to be 4-member, 3-member, it was something small. I'm like, oh,
So
why?
it's definitely 7 now?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, it's 5 to 7
7.
people,
right.
yeah. But what we have now is 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 right now, so we're always, right?
Someone else?
Patsy.
Oh, and Judy,
Pat-
and Judy's
Judy
not here.
Vacutis.
So we're 5. We're
Yeah.
a board of 5.
Okay.
But so we could always be promoting, or looking for 2 more people
Okay.
to join the board.
You did approve the minutes, right? We approved the minutes.
I don't think we got into the minutes yet, or did
Oh,
we
okay.
approve the minutes?
No.
No,
Okay.
okay. Of course, I got
Everybody fine.
sidetracked again.
That's okay. I was just curious, because then I can,
Okay, so I handed everybody the minutes.
thank you. Everybody got the minutes?
Yep, everybody has the minutes.
That's fine.
Diane, you can't vote because you weren't here.
Now, do you send this out ahead of time, Jean, so the committee can look at it?
So right
do.
now, we don't really have a secretary, and I don't take the minutes. Darlene's taking the minutes. And she sends them out so we
Okay.
can look at them ahead of time.
Oh, that's right, I did get them, Darlene, thank you. I did get them the other day.
I try to get them out as quick as possible.
Okay. Are you still reading, Diane? Well, you can't.
I
even
can't vote
so-
anyway. It's all right, I'm just reading.
Fred and Pat, can I have a motion to accept the March 18th, 2025 minutes? Unless you had, did you have any changes or? No. No. Okay, so could someone make a motion, please?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the March 18th meeting.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Great job, Tommy. Okay, so I guess we'll hand the floor to Darlene on her budget update.
Okay, so just to give an explanation how we do this. So what I do is I keep my Excel spreadsheet, and then we have the budget that we don't get them often anymore, but we're gonna get there, I guess, back again at some point. But this is just for the month of March, where the gifts and activity, even money that we used for, okay, so we got money in for something, a donation or something, we'll go into that gifts and activities account. And I try to keep them all defined right there. Any monies we do collect from any of the trainings that we offer, the wellness programs, has to go into the gifts and activities account. Some of it, of course, is reimbursed. If it says to be reimbursed by AgeWave, maybe I've taken money out of there for a luncheon or something. We've gotten the check back, and I put the check number there. And I know that we just got the check back for the 32405. So just to note that I don't see it on here that I marked the check, but I do have a check number on the
So that
next
column,
one.
Darlene, is money that was spent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's the blue, wow, see, I have the blue,
okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
So anything in the gray area is money that it's actually subtracted. So we do have 11,887.45 in there, so that would actually be, so if I go to pay one of the instructors, it'll go in, so money going deposited, so say that instructor gets $50 for what she does, but only one person goes to class, she still gets $50,
Right.
or he, or whatever. So I just want to let that know. So usually, sometimes I can play around with the other account too, which is a state grant, because the state grant allows us to spend that money on activities and so on and so forth. So sometimes I'll just take it out of that if I see this is
So
getting
when
low.
you take it out of the grant, do you put it in the first column then?
Yep.
Okay.
So, no, I'm sorry. When I take it out, I put it in the second column, which
Okay.
is the gray area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so,
Even if you take it out of the grant money, the state grant money?
no, I don't take it out of the
Yeah.
state. So sometimes I'll go back and forth, because if this is getting low, I feel like I can use that money to, so now I'm kind of saving some of that grant money, because I'm hoping that we can take and hire someone that is an assistant for Barbara or for our office as an assistant outreach, but also to if and when we get back to that age wave. So there is money that, I guess when I first got here, they had a nurse that they paid, and they also had her doing outreach as well. So she was getting paid for 2 jobs. And she was getting paid like it was $32 an hour to do this job, because she was doing 2 jobs, nursing for 10 hours and 12, or it was the other way around, 12 hours for nursing, checking the blood pressure and that type of thing, and then 10 hours for outreach. basically it was $32 an hour when you combine the totals, but that was coming out of the grant. When we got rid of that option, not rid of it, but we just, she left, we didn't replace it. So the money, I didn't use it. Since this whole COVID period, haven't put the green book back into effect, which the green book tells you what you can spend that money on. They got rid of it. So they said, you do what you got to do to run your center to get it back up and running. And so that's what we've been doing. So sometimes
Does that get reimbursed by the state?
annually. So I just completed my big audit just last month. So I uploaded it to the Executive Office of Aging and Independence. And so now they'll review everything. They review the whole state of Massachusetts. So they'll take a look at it. They'll determine, what we actually did for our money. But again, we're not funded like that. What we offer, it's funded by the census. So and our census went up, I guess. And so for some reason, when I first got here, we were only getting reimbursed $18,732, and that's it from the state.
Which is census built on age.
There's the census that comes out every year,
Is age determined though?
Is it an age or, annually? The census comes out annually,
No, not annually.
every 2 years, 5 years,
I think it's 5 years.
5 years.
I think
Is
it's
it?
fine.
I know, and did we not just fill in our census and
Yeah,
hand
we
it
did.
over to the town? So,
So with that said, so what they'll do, they went up on what they were charging, what they were allowing for seniors. So before the governor left office to hand it over to Healy, they authorized the uptick of the funding from, it used to be 12, it went to $14. So they went up. So that means that every town got reimbursed for the number of census or what was built into their census, that times that, a dollar amount that was allowed by the state. So it just went up, I heard, I gotta check, but don't quote me on this one, but $16. So I'm just gonna go look. And that means that you have $16 to serve the public.
and you don't have to return that to the state during the fiscal year?
You
Or
didn't-
at the end of the fiscal year?
No, you used to, if you didn't use it, but not now.
Wow.
Yeah, they
That's
may
based on
change.
Every person in the census or people after, older, after a certain age?
Yes, 60 and over.
Okay. Oh, it's 60, all right.
Yeah, or with a disability.
Okay,
So it depends on what somebody puts down in their
Right.
census,
yeah.
So, but usually it's anybody with a disability or somebody that's 60 and older.
Okay.
So,
I did have one question on the Stone. So you're still getting a Stop and Shop?
no, that was probably the dribble.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was
Well,
like,
Yeah, it was a couple bucks, but,
yeah,
but I don't think, it was like $27.
yeah, the
I
end
don't
of
know
March,
if
and they've been gone for so long, right?
Yeah, I was surprised to see it, but somebody held on to it. It went to some department. I saw the date in which it was sent. So it must have went to somebody's department and then they dropped it in up in a mailbox. I'm like, well, how did that, it was a whole month and a half old or 2 months
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's
And then
not-
you turned that, did a turnover to the town with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes right to the gifts and
Yeah.
activity. But the thing is that it was delayed to get to us. And then the second part of it is, I don't know if the Pembroke Stop and Shop is, authorizing the same thing. Probably not. We'll find out. I don't know. I'll have to call them or something. But I thought of that. I said, geez, I wonder if the Pembroke store is gonna, if somebody from Halifax goes shopping there, or anybody, and say, or anyone actually, and says, oh, I'd like, this money or this donation, whatever the proceeds they give, 2%, whatever, to the Halifax COA, then, that's the only thing. But I don't think many I don't know, people probably don't go into Pembroke
Right.
to shop. And number two, is if they do, they probably don't mention the fact. We could put that in our newsletter or something. But once we confirm that they're doing it. But I figured that was the last dribble of what was, before
And,
they closed.
And the fireplace, that was paid out of the Age Wave grant?
No. So what
okay.
happened is that, we utilize, because we have I wrote the For the Love of Art grant through the Mass Cultural Council as well as a local to ask for support for art in general. So it could have been anything that we were doing at the center. It could be come in to, on a Friday to free art, or you could come in to do some other things. So we weren't using it quickly, because last year we had to give some of it back because we didn't use it as much of it, which I thought, we got like 4,800 last year. So that was, I was hoping that everybody would like to go to her classes and then go to her studio, and then we could, you know, use the money up that way, and it would be fun. But it wasn't, I don't know if they just were interested of going to another town. But things had changed and her studio closed to go to another location too in Hanover. So that was another reason too. So we had that money, and I said, this year we're gonna use that, because we could use it. So we bought some art supplies, we bought some all of these other things that we needed to have, and we could use it for crafts as well. So we had that, so I used up the grant money to pay for McMurray to finish the art. You participated in it.
Right.
So to finish off we offered it to everybody to participate and finish off the fireplace. And then there was a balance of $213.68. So I paid it out of this gifts and activity.
Great.
And that was it. But the rest of it winter, you know, was on the grant.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions on the gift and activities account?
What's interesting about this, I always thought they could keep them separate, like say, you know, GLN funding, that I set up a specific sheet that's specifically for that, and they said, no, I had to, when Cody came, he said, no, put everything all in this gifts and activity, and I'm like, yeah, but I'd like to send you a notice to say, hey, this is what we've used so far in your funding.
Yep.
But now I can't do that because it's all in one gifts and activity. So, but I keep a little note for myself.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with John Dorney when he passed, that, you know, they sent funding in, and it was all deposited in here a couple months ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So, transportation. So it's a revolving account, meaning that it doesn't go away. It continues from year to year or fiscal year. And so this is what we would bring in on that column there as income. The only time we would have money coming out of it is if we have to do stickers, oil changes. If we need tires, that'll come out of that fund.
Could you explain it, Darlene, a little bit when you said income? So that's what
Yeah, that
seniors
second
actually
column.
pay?
Yeah, no, that's the total for the week. So if you look over to the right, it says February 24th to February 28th. We collected $112 for that
And
week
how do you collect that? Where's it come from?
from the consumer. The consumer pays, depending on where they're
Yeah.
going.
Oh, that's what I meant. That's
So
senior
we have a
would pay.
list, and we have a little tiny, area. We're the only COA that does this too. But I call it concierge, transportation, because hello, I need a ride to Boston. Well, that's a big, not, senior centers don't do that. They have to go through another systems, so to get there. So we do, and it's $30 round trip.
Okay.
So that's where you see that on the left-hand side, that deposit monies.
All right.
Yeah. So maybe in that $112, there might have been 5 people. So I have all the attachment. So if we ever got audited, it will show exactly how many people drove that week. And what's good about this too, which we now have GATRA, they force us to, the accounting records are phenomenal. I like it, but it's tedious. It's a lot of work. I have to get all the salaries together. I have to get all the monies together for that month. So it's a month-by-month thing for GATRA. So there's reimbursement. I'm coming, that means I'll be a little late.
Gas doesn't come out here then, out of the spending?
No, we don't. Nope, because
Gas
it's
up
town.
like that, Okay.
Yep, that's the town. So,
Darlene, can I just interrupt you for a minute? And if we could get Diane a copy of
Yep.
this, because this is still up to date, and
Yep.
we haven't made any changes. We approved this. It's the Halifax Council on
I'll get you a
Aging
copy of that, too.
Transportation services,
Yes, I don't-
policies,
yeah.
and
So when
safety
we-
guidelines.
So when I first got here, we didn't have anything like that. So I said, boy, we better zero it in. So that's why I put that together. I was trying to put like a little trifold, but it was too much
Yeah, that-
information in a
that helped
trifold.
me understand it.
I think Situate put their trifold together, but it was so small, and I'm like, I couldn't even read it.
Yeah, this is
So-
5 pages, there's no way that.
No, you couldn't put it in trifold. So, but that also too, we try to revise it, as it's needed. For instance, if something does come up, that we never really expected, or some other expected thing that we need to really focus on in a term of policy, we need to make sure that that is looked at. There was one thing that did come up, and right now I can't, it only
Yes,
came
we
up
should
once.
try to keep track of that, and then we can talk about it
Yeah.
and make sure we put that in.
If
there.
something happens once,
Yeah,
okay, if something happens twice.
Right.
Yeah, we need to look at
Yeah.
it. So, but if something just simple, happens once and it's not gonna happen again, then it's not a real serious problem yet. Unless, of course, it's really a real serious thing, but,
So the van driver's salary comes out of your budget?
the van drivers, the towns, yeah, my budget, yes.
Okay.
Yep. So that's a separate thing. So I'll get you a copy of all the, policies.
policy procedures, yeah,
Yep.
and then this,
Oh,
transportation.
I know what it is.
Document.
Okay, so this is important. So it's the GATRA. So GATRA requires, we have to follow now GATRA regulations as well. In their contract states, and they go by the federal law, RA, blah, 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 I don't know the numbers. But anyway, so that we need to follow for drug and alcohol testing for all
like the
the
DOT.
But we never had that. So now I have to add that to the policy. But in the meantime, Cody's helping. No, I actually reached out to the fire chief and the police chief because they have to have that. All right, we don't have it as a town-wide thing,
Right.
but why? So I reached out to Cody. We've been going back and forth since February, and I've checked around at other COAs. Nobody has anything that was really concrete in terms of a GATRA policy or some kind of a policy that's geared towards this. So the fire chief he had a template, and I said, well, he was awesome, and it's very detailed. So it's a detailed template that helped me to put our language in based on what is happening with GATRA. So it's about 4 pages. So,
On drug and alcohol?
yes.
Wow.
And how it can be
Close to like
done,
the
who
DOT.
can do it, correct, yep. And it has to go through their regulations, because the GATRA people follow the federal guidelines. And so then we have to meld that into that transportation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do you want me to put that on the agenda for next month, or?
yeah, the reason why it just happened last week, that I was able to get this and start writing it, and I have to have legal look at it, our town attorney. So I need his input.
This isn't something that this board is going to
Will,
vote on. We are going to
We
vote
will.
and approve that? Okay.
yeah, because what we need to wait for is legal to talk
Yep.
with us on that.
Okay.
Because I need to understand the verbiage in terms of legalities and chapters and stuff.
Yeah, and then you can
They're up to
explain that to us, and then we'll vote.
Right.
Okay.
So it's a working policy or working project right now, so just like everything else.
I'll add that to the agenda for next meeting.
Yeah. So we'll work, so it's a working project.
It's
Okay.
a work in process.
Work in
Pri-
process.
progress.
Okay, yep. So what was the next thing?
I think you can hand the meeting over to Barbara and get to your
Yeah, I'm gonna
other
go.
meeting.
So what it is that, there's the opioid addiction meeting. So that's what when you called to tell me that it was gonna be changed to this, I didn't think
When
about
I
it now.
called
So
to
yeah,
tell
sure,
you
no
that I
problem.
messed up, yes.
No,
Darlene, I know.
No,
I
you
messed
didn't
up.
mess up, you didn't mess up.
No, I
So when you
did.
called me, I said, yeah, sure, no problem, and I'm like, oh, no. So I do have a couple things. Yesterday was the breakfast for the veterans, it was really nice. Yep, so I went to that,
was
and
that?
it was here. And so Steve Littlefield put it on, it really went well. A lot of questions, just they want to have it now once or twice a month. And it's funny, Michelle Berneski, Attorney Berneski, is one of those people that I've reached out to come and talk to planning for the future. And I like her because I like their consistency in the way I've known them for 10 years in terms of watching what they did over the years and not using them or anything like that or have any relationship, but I just watch their work and they're pretty spot on as the way they do it. They're not there to sell you something, but they're there to explain to you what an estate does, you know, what an IRA does, and when you should put these monies in and how to set it up. It's complex. So it was really interesting, and I think it gave a nice perspective. So they invited her, Attorney Berneski, yesterday, so she was one of the speakers, as well as Steve's wife, Lauren. So she spoke on mental health issues with regard to the veterans. So that was awesome. So that was good, and
Where do they post that, the Veterans Breakfast?
he put that out in the, he reached out to us to ask if we wanted to join, and it was kind of, I don't remember doing it last year or the year before on Patriots Day.
VFW thing.
Yeah, it's through the Post.
Yeah, the VFW post.
It'll probably be the Whitman one.
638, I think,
Yeah.
Post 638, I think
We
it
don't
is.
know what
Or Hanson? Is it the Hanson one, maybe?
I think,
So I posted it on our
Are they
website.
directed to Whitman? No?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's directed.
Is it? Okay, so that was a cool thing. And maybe next year, so they're gonna try to do it every month now, I guess.
Oh, nice.
We'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
keep it, you know, watch for it. We'll try to post it in our website. I put it on there. As soon as I got the
Okay.
paperwork, I posted it out there, just to let everybody know. So there's probably about 30 people, you know. Could have been more, but it is what it is. Barbara and I,
Who sponsored that?
the veterans.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Post, I don't know who did, or the Post or the veterans, but it was a nice breakfast, I don't know. I can find out. It wasn't us, though, I mean, in
No,
terms of
yeah.
funding, we didn't do it. Finished the grant writing, I had to take a grant writing course, refresher, so I completed that, it was tedious, 3 days. And this woman is phenomenal, she's in Minnesota, but it was all virtual, so it's in conclusion of the grant that we're finalizing, which I'm finding that the language that was written by the other director was a little bit different. So we're rewriting it, got the April 30th deadline to complete this. It's a lot, but I'll get it done, one thing at a time. And
for
then
April?
hopefully, yes.
Yay.
So hopefully we can get moving, once this grant is complete in terms of the language and submission to the, they want me to write another grant through SIG, so that we can get some additional funding to do the continuation of the program.
Nice.
So that's a lot. We'll see what
Fingers
happens.
crossed.
Yes.
Yep, and
So-
please reach out to us, Darlene, if we can
Yeah.
help you.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
so,
proofread or something. I don't know.
I like it, like, what's the dead, all I keep saying is, wait a minute,
Oh,
when's
yeah,
the deadline? When's the deadline?
Yeah.
When's the deadline? And then the other thing, Barbara and I finished our
We
serve
can
safe.
bring you your water and stuff.
Yeah.
Snacks.
No, a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
So we finished our serve safe, and now, like, so managers, that is a little higher level than handlers, so that's a good thing. And so it was a little bit, after taking it, we didn't want to eat after that. So I asked her if she can piggyback, and we did it together. It was a long day. And she did it with the Board of Health in Kingston. She was awesome. And one more thing is, so in this opioid addiction meeting, which I'm going to now, I reached out to actually Kathy Lenatra reached out to our center to connect me with this person that does cleanings for $60. So they'll come here, but they set up inside your building, and they bring all their little, equipment. I think it's a great idea. I just need to understand what kind of a room do you need? I personally feel like we need a special room, like a nurse's station or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was awesome, so I met with them, so I'm gonna see if I can get some opiate addiction money for that, because they also serve, that community of recovery and, those types of, situations where they go to the halfway houses and stuff too. So they're very smart in terms of, because a lot of people don't probably do that, and it gives them somebody to feel good that they can get their teeth cleaned. I'm coming, oh, and then that's it. Nope, okay, and nothing else? I don't think it's anything else.
thank you,
But if you have
Donna.
any questions.
Thank you, Donna.
all right,
I don't know where to, we know where to find you.
All right, down the hall. All right, bye. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you,
Thank you.
Barbara.
Have a
And
good day.
here's Barbara. Do you need a notepad?
Have a good day.
Bye, Darlene.
Just say Barbara, so we can all look at you.
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, I don't want to. So everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Well, just keeping to the agenda, so we got the age wave status, and then, so the parking lot update we
Yep.
put on that?
So they poured the concrete yesterday.
Nice.
That looks great. And then we'll see what steps are next. I'm not quite sure, but
Is there like a finish date?
I haven't
Yeah.
gotten a finish date, but
Yeah, that's no surprise,
hopefully-
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully by the end of this week. The weather looks nice.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
yep.
Assuming that there's gonna be handrails going up that ramp.
Yep.
Now, was that a grant or was that out of the budget?
I'm not entirely sure. I just know that our ramp and the water department's ramp weren't up to ADA code.
Okay.
I think that
So-
came out of,
Maintenance.
I think
not so much out of maintenance, but, and I believe, and that at one town meeting, we voted a bunch of money for building maintenance to use to bring different things ADA
Up to
compliant.
ADA compliance, right.
And I think that when that money is gone, we'll have to go to town meeting again and vote some more money. So I don't think it came out
That's
of
when they
building
did that ramp
maintenance.
out back.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't
Yeah.
do those other ramps.
Yeah,
I mean, especially COA.
Right. You would have thought.
Yeah, because this was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
but it wasn't a grant, it was town meeting approved. That
Right.
This is money that the town has to spend over a certain period of time to bring, and the list, that we got, it was like huge to bring, like, I know the stuff at the library,
Right.
countertops, and it's just, it's a lot. It's gonna take a long time to go through, probably, I would imagine, I don't know, I'm just speaking off the top of my head, but I imagine that we'll be at town meeting soon appropriating more money for that, but that's great, okay. And next on the agenda is to welcome Diane Rexton, a new board member. Diane, you were approved by the selectmen.
Yes.
Did you go to that meeting?
It's so very hard for me. That's why I had to resign from the trustees at the library. So this works out better.
Yeah,
No, I didn't. Pam got me a pass.
Pam got you a pass, but they did bring it
Because
to
I was on finance before. I was on wage and personnel numerous times. I
right,
was a library trustee a few times. So I've been on many boards.
right, but they did bring it to a selectman, and the selectman
Yes,
did approve
yes,
you,
I did.
which
And I was
was,
sworn
which
in.
was important. And,
Yes.
oh, you got sworn in?
Yes,
You got your
yes,
little
and my
pad?
card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow, good
I'm
for
official.
you. Awesome, and welcome,
And I
I
haven't
think.
met, is this Pat at the end?
Hi,
Yeah.
Pam.
Yep. Nice to meet you, Pat.
Pat Tonio.
Same here.
Fred.
I know Fred.
Okay.
Who doesn't know Fred?
Fred actually is at the end of my road. I see Fred every day up on the telephone pole.
Okay, great. Well, I'm, for one, very happy that you're here.
I'm
I
happy
think
to
I
be here.
speak,
Happy to have you.
yep. You'll have lots of
Well, I
good
got to know the
input.
girls too at the COA, because my husband was in the age wave.
Yep.
So I got to experience a lot of different things, and that made me want to be on this board. And Jean's coaxing.
Yeah. Forcing, twisting
Yeah.
around. Okay, great.
Can I add something? So I'm on the OCES board. Holt Colony Elder Services, and we are having a board of directors event. So we are encouraged to bring residents from our town. It is on Triad Day. That's the only issue. It's Tuesday, May 6th at I think it's the East Bridgewater. Yep, East Bridgewater Council on Aging. So if anyone would want to join me, I would love to have you.
Tuesday, May 6th.
What are they gonna do?
So
What time is that, Barbara?
it is, registration time is 9:30 and it starts at 10.
Till what time approximately?
Probably like, I'm guessing 11:30.
Okay.
So they're just doing I think just
Oh my God, I'm
Different
sorry.
talks
Jeez.
on aging and different COAs and different programs that are out
Yeah.
there. And
I'd like to attend.
okay, I'd love to have
Send me a reminder though.
yeah.
Thank you.
And they're doing breakfast, so we'll feed
It's
you
at the EV,
and
okay.
yeah.
Can, like, you bring as many people as you want? No, I think that, you know, I'll be wrapping a lot of stuff up at the
Yeah.
library, so.
They say like 2 to 3
Okay.
is what they want, but they want their board of directors to be like more involved and
Yeah.
getting the COAs more involved, which I think is great.
Yeah.
And so this is the first of it.
Just come
So
around, stop bossing us around.
I'd like to join you too if I could.
I'm not gonna fight for the chair, don't worry. The secretary.
yeah, good.
I'm not gonna fight for your 3-year
I will send
post.
you this,
Yep.
and then I will send you invites. So
Okay, good.
they're good.
Awesome.
Make it easy. Good. And then
You for a festival?
the Fur Festival, Generations, is doing their Fur Festival on June 21st. They're very excited.
Very excited.
Very exciting. We're very happy about it.
Debbie Aducci from the library helped Jean make that flyer.
It is beautiful.
Yep, so it was a great town collaboration.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it is a fur festival. So they're having like dog shows. They're having dog themed vendors, dog contests. I have to get my dog, you know, a costume and trained. I might put him in a carriage. That
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
It's free admission, and yeah, you just come and have
Where
a
is
good
it
day.
at?
It will be on the town green.
Oh,
Yep. So, and it's to benefit our friends groups, generations. So yeah, and that's all I have.
I think this is the second time they've done that for a festival.
Yep.
And the first time it was very well attended. They are following the sort of the new rules, something that we probably always should have been done as far as vendors having insurance and stuff. So I think that put a little kink into
I saw that.
to what they would, you know, to some of the vendors that they were, you know, coming. But rules are rules, and
I saw
This
that
is
was moved
something
to
that
the
we
church
had-
parking lot.
yeah.
Do they still need it with the church parking lot?
Yeah, well, it's been an issue, that's for sure, and they certainly have killed the farmer's market because the people who were bringing their extra farm merchandise from their backyard garden can't afford to pay $182 a year for insurance to come to the farmer's market
Right.
5 or 6 times.
Plus they
Does-
pay a fee every time they join in the farmer's market.
Every time you
correct?
go to the farmer's market, you pay a $30 table fee or 10 by 10 square, and then that money goes to the food pantry. So there's a lot of money that's going to be missing there for the food pantry. So because of this insurance requirement. Now, I understand the liability, but there should be some way, and nobody has been able to inform me yet how to go through some farmers association or
Because the
whatever in
farmer
the
has it
state.
every week, don't they, during the peak season?
And then some of these, like Plymouth says they prefer you have insurance, but they don't insist on it. Okay.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So there's a lot of mix match going on here around the area. So it's like everything else is a little mud in the water out no matter where you go, you know.
I think they're really cracking down on the trainings that you want. I know when Darlene and I did the training in Kingston for the food management, one of the girls that was doing it had to have it to do her have a table at Camp Kawani because she was serving food. And that was the requirement to have a table there. You had to be
Well,
food register or food manager. So I think a lot of towns are cracking down on it. Which is
I
a
can
shame.
remember at the library, not that this is, but every year, Matt, you came to our potlucks, remember?
Yep.
So we would, we had at the time 2 book clubs. And once a year, we would combine the book clubs and we would just throw a potluck. We would all read the same book and we would throw a potluck dinner out there. And it was literally just potluck, like bring whatever you want. And my God, the food was like amazing. Maureen Rogers used to make like, the chicken wings and or chicken thighs and
Can I
stuff.
stay for
and
3 days?
meatballs. Oh my God, the food was unbelievable. And then we didn't even get to dessert. We had to bring but yeah, we wouldn't be having that anymore. They were starting to crack down on us anyway. I was like,
rolls.
who made a potluck dinner? Never. Which is unfortunate because those things bring the community together and bring book clubs together. And, we would all go out into the main part of the library with that, punch and desserts
And talk about the book.
and talk about the book
Definitely
and
talk
stuff.
about
We did have a little
Yes.
bit of reading. We do a little bit of reading and discussion into this mix. But that's neither here nor there. Okay, great.
Yeah. That's all I have. And
So I guess I'm a chair for another year.
congratulations.
Congratulations, Jean. That's quite an
And
accomplishment.
Pat, anytime you want to take right over, you just let me know.
Nope. No,
Fred, you're too busy to be a chair. I know you.
I'm too new.
I think you should stay for the 6 years.
6 chairs, wow.
I went from 3 to 6.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Thanks for coming.
Welcome.
Barbara, what, I have to, okay, should we adjourn the meeting at 10:20? I'd like to adjourn the COA board meeting. Okay. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:20.
I will second that.
All those in favor? Aye.